Eurovision final opens in Liverpool with Ukrainian flags, pyrotechnics and a surprise royal star turn. In front of a live crowd of 6,000 and a global TV audience of 160 million, 26 countries are battling it out for Eurovision glory. Also tonight, Russia claims Ukraine has used British Storm Shadow missiles in combat for the first time.
How big a goal will that turn out to be for Leeds United?
Leeds keep their hopes of avoiding relegation alive, and Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis behind the scenes on Coronation Day.
This is ITV News with Romilly Weeks.
Good evening. The theme of this year's Eurovision Song Contest is United by Music, and support for Ukraine has been evident throughout the competition. The city of Liverpool has been praised for the way it stepped in and put on a show that has always felt like Kyiv's party. As always, the songs have ranged from kitsch to quality, and at the start featured a surprise appearance by none other than the Princess of Wales. Our arts editor Nina Nanar has the latest from Liverpool.
Little wonder they're ecstatic. It has been an 8-month wait since Liverpool learned it would be hosting the Eurovision Song Contest, after organisers asked the UK to do the honours in place of war-torn Ukraine.
We're here from the start to the end. Come on, Romilly!
The fan village, specially created on the Liverpool pierhead, has been crammed all week. The cheers went up as the show began. There had long been rumours of special guests, and tonight, as last year's winners, Ukraine's Kalush Orchestra, opened proceedings, some familiar faces joined in, including a royal special guest who made a musical contribution, the Princess of Wales playing a short piece recorded earlier this month in Windsor Castle. From the Princess to Poe. Edgar Allan Poe, that is, the subject of Austria's entry, the first up tonight. Sweden's Loreen is the favourite to win tonight. If she gets the most marks from the jury and the fans' votes combined, it means the Eurovision Song Contest will return to Sweden next year on the 50th anniversary of ABBA's historic win for the country. There has been plenty tonight that is classic Eurovision. Finland embodied the flamboyant spirit of the competition, the singer's bright green bolero jacket now famous in its own right. The song Cha 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 about having fun. The Eurovision audience is obliging.
Well, just a short while ago, the UK's entry, May Muller, took to the stage with I Wrote a Song. Let's take a listen. There's such a lot of support for May Muller. This 15,000 strong crowd down here went absolutely crazy for her. But I also have to say that Tvorchi, the Ukraine's entry that was on just a few acts before, also received a phenomenal response. A lot of the people knew all the words to the song. That's been indicative of Liverpool this whole week, the amount of love and support they have shown to Ukraine, of course, which should have been the host country. Last night, the jury votes were cast. They're in. In a while, the public votes will start to be cast. And then later on tonight, we will find out who will be crowned the Eurovision winner.
Nina in Liverpool, thank you. Barred from speaking to the Eurovision audience, Ukraine's president instead spent the day in Rome, where he met the Pope at the Vatican. Meanwhile, Russia has claimed that Ukrainian forces have used British Storm Shadow cruise missiles in combat for the first time. Callum Watkinson reports.
The Russian-backed government in the occupied Luhansk region of Ukraine claim this is damage to civilian buildings caused by British weapons. They say 2 people were injured by Storm Shadow missiles supplied to Ukraine by the MOD. It is the second such claim today. The first came from Russia's defense spokesman, who said a plastics factory and a meat processing plant were hit by the same type of weapons last night. He said 6 children were among the injured, but a few shots of debris were the only evidence he offered. Elsewhere, the Ukrainian military said it is making headway against Wagner Group military contractors on the outskirts of the city of Bakhmut. And as his soldiers hunt mercenaries at home, President Zelensky continues to look for support abroad. A visit to the Pope today, their first meeting since the war began. At an Italian government briefing, he spoke, like the Russians, of bombardment from the air. In just 7 hours, he said, our defenders shot down 17 attack drones, adding that the machines were Iranian-made. The use of these missiles against non-military targets would be embarrassing for Britain, but Russian claims that is happening just days after their supply was revealed. Might suggest the information war is as hot as the one on the ground. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
In what appears to be a thinly veiled attack on the Prime Minister, the former Home Secretary Priti Patel has blamed the Conservative Party's leadership for last week's big losses in local elections. She was one of several former cabinet ministers speaking at a grassroots pro-Boris Johnson conference today. Our political correspondent Harry Horton is here. Harry, more civil war in the Tory party?
Not quite, but I think it's a reminder of the challenges that Rishi Sunak faces in trying to keep his party united. This group, the Conservative Democratic Organisation that hosted this conference today, was born out of frustration at the way Boris Johnson was removed by fellow MPs, frustration at the way Rishi Sunak was selected as Prime Minister without any input from party members. Boris Johnson wasn't there today. Lots of former cabinet ministers were, though, as you say, including the former Home Secretary Priti Patel. She said that those disastrous election results the Conservative Party suffered earlier this month was down to the current leadership of the party.
If the centre of the party spent more time with us, listening, engaging, then I think it's fair to say we would not have seen over 1,000 of our friends and colleagues even lose their seats in recent local elections, and dozens of councils fall out of Conservative control.
Now, another former Prime Minister, Liz Truss, is giving a speech this week where she's expected to be fairly critical of UK policy towards China. Now, I don't think she or supporters of Boris Johnson provide any sort of immediate threat to Rishi Sunak, but it's a reminder these people aren't willing to sit quietly on the back benches, and I think they are providing a bit of a headache for the Prime Minister.
Right, Harry, thank you. There are reports that a ceasefire has been agreed tonight between Israel and Palestinian militants in Gaza. Earlier today, Israel launched 7 in northern Gaza. Islamic Jihad had launched a barrage of rockets on southern Israel from the area. And Turkey's President Erdogan has held a final pop star-style rally ahead of tomorrow's elections. It's widely seen as the greatest threat to his 20-year grip on power. To sport, and Southampton's defeat by Fulham today means they're the first team to be relegated from the Premier League this season after 11 years in the top flight. Meanwhile, fellow strugglers Leeds fought high-flying Newcastle to a draw today, keeping their hopes of staying up alive. Chris Scudder was watching.
In Big Sam they trust. Allardyce has been parachuted in to save Leeds from the drop. And in his second of 4 games in charge, it looked like paying off. An early goal and then a golden chance to make it 2 from the penalty spot.
He saved it!
But Bamford missed and the promise of 3 precious points began to fade. Now it was Leeds paying the penalty.
And he scores!
Callum Wilson equalised, and then a wayward arm gave Wilson the chance to make it 2-1 Newcastle.
Wilson scores!
It looked like being the winner until Christensen's shot saved the day for Leeds via the head of Kieran Trippier. But a helpful deflection on the field could not deflect from security concerns off it. A fan got onto the edge of the pitch and shoved Newcastle boss Eddie Howe. An unhelpful intervention in the struggle to stay up. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And the team who pushed Wrexham all the way in their Hollywood-inspired return to the Football League had their own fairy tale ending to the season today.
Scotch sends Notts County back to the Football League!
The world's oldest professional club, Notts County, beat Chesterfield in a dramatic penalty shootout in the National League playoff final at Wembley. It means they join Wrexham and their film star owners in promotion back to the Football League. Finally, last weekend was an important one in our nation's history, and the coronation was also a red-letter day for the youngest royals. Today, the Prince and Princess of Wales released a short film featuring behind-the-scenes footage of Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis in Kensington Palace as they prepared to meet the crowds. Here's Chloe Keedy.
In quiet contrast to the crowds lining the streets nearby, inside Kensington Palace, a family was getting ready for a coronation. This short film, released by the Prince and Princess of Wales, gives us a behind-the-scenes glimpse as Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte prepared for a day they probably won't forget in a hurry, the day their grandfather was crowned as king.
I, William, Prince of Wales, pledge my loyalty to you.
If Saturday was all about the parade and the pomp and the pageantry, Sunday had more of a relaxed feel.
OK, Prince of Wales, it's time for your rehearsal.
Although perhaps not for Prince William.
Welcome to the coronation concert!
He joined a star-studded lineup of pop stars and actors at a concert most kids would have given anything to be at. Backstage, Prince George and Princess Charlotte got the red carpet treatment, even if they did have to put up with watching their dad give a speech. Chloe Keedy, ITV News.
And that is all from us. The weather forecast is next, but from all of us here on the Weekend News team, thanks for watching and good night.
Today we'll see warmer temperatures moving in from the east, especially around tea time. Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello and a very good evening to you. Hope you're all keeping well. So the weather setup is fairly quiet as we edge overnight tonight. Although once again, we'll see more of that low cloud creeping in off the North Sea. And it's going to be working its way westwards. And then further west, there will be some clear skies around, but we'll also see some mist and fog patches in places. And then for northwestern parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland, you can see we will have this frontal system working its way in, bringing some cloud and some outbreaks of rain. So quite a grey start for many. And there will be some outbreaks of rain and blustery winds across the northwest. Now, as that system starts to spread its way south and eastwards, there may be one or two showers ahead of it, but for most of us during daylight hours, fine and dry conditions, hazy sunshine out there tomorrow, and we're looking at a top temperature up to around 22 degrees. 22 is 72 in Fahrenheit, but it will be feeling that little bit fresher behind that system. And then once that moves out of the way on Monday, for most of us, there will be a good deal of fine weather on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello again. Cloud building again overnight tonight, but hopefully some nice warm sunny spells as we head into the second half of the weekend on Sunday. Yes, feeling nice and warm in any sunshine, but if it's bright rather than sunny, don't let it catch you out. The UV is high across all parts of the region tomorrow, so mostly dry. We have got this weather front approaching from the northwest. It will unsettle things by the very end of the day tomorrow into the early part of Monday, but behind that, high pressure likely to develop from the west and push through across all parts as we head through into next week. So in a little bit more detail, overnight tonight it's mostly dry and the winds will be light, but thicker cloud amounts developing throughout the night, a little bit of moisture in the air, so some mist and low cloud developing, and underneath those cloudier skies nothing too chilly, around 6 or 7 Celsius. So don't be too disappointed with tomorrow's fairly grey start. We are hoping that the low cloud will lift and thin and break, and we'll see some sunny spells. The sunshine could be hazy at times, so don't let that catch you out. The UV is 7, that's a high risk of sunburn, and highs actually on the thermometer 21 or 22 Celsius. Could be 1 or 2 rogue showers, then that system coming through, lingering on Monday, but starting to improve over the coming few days.
Valent sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello, summer. Kerrie sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Oak is the main culprit at the moment. We're just drawing to a close that tree pollen season, and the grass pollen season hasn't quite got going. So low to moderate over the coming few days. Have a lovely afternoon.